Hi, Jeremy. Thank you for joining us to talk about your experience of being on the Advanced Diploma. Can you tell me, as you look backwards, what was it like?
Hi, Kim. Yes, looking backwards, yes, I suppose it's all safely in the rear view mirror now, which is quite reassuring in some ways. It was tough, actually. Have to sort of say that it was tough. It was demanding, in lots of ways, not just in terms of the time and energy that it took to meet the requirements of the tasks and so on. But actually, it was tough in terms of what it required of me, um, emotionally, in terms of my growth. Yeah, so it asked a lot, and in being able to meet what the course asked of me, I feel I've grown significantly actually through that 2 year process. And yes, there were some very tough times, especially in the latter part when I was writing my dissertation and case study and so on, and my time was filled. When I did kind of wonder what I was doing there, and I think that's inevitable. And I think anything of value takes us to our edge, and the course really took me to my edges, and I really found some edges in myself, places that were sort of familiar, and yet I was kind of surprised to find myself there, and it was kind of unexpected. um, yeah, and yes, as I say, so it was making the, I suppose, continually renewing that decision to stay with the course and to keep doing the course, to not stop. Yeah, it allowed me to kind of work through those edges, to understand who was meeting those edges, and what was needed for me to move through those edges and to kind of grow as a person and as a therapist. So I've come out of those 2 years with a deeper, clearer understanding of myself as a person and as a therapist. I noticed a difference in my work as a therapist. I think one of the things that took me into the training was a sense of having hit a little bit of a ceiling in myself, and arriving at places with clients where I could feel a little bit stuck at times. That's changed. Obviously we can still be stuck. I can still be stuck, but I don't feel there's a different kind of quality to the way I work now. New places have opened up in me through having undertaken the course, that weren't available to me before, that I can use in my work and my life. So I can genuinely say it's been a life-changing experience, and one that I'm very feel very grateful to have done, very proud of having done as well. Yeah, I feel like I've more fully entered into myself as a therapist, and my career as a therapist has opened up in new ways for me. So yeah, I mean, it's something I can wholly recommend. Yeah, it's tough going, but the rewards are significant, I think. Yeah.
Wonderful. And if you were to think of your top tips for for people looking at doing the Advanced Diploma, what would you be saying to them?
Um, I would say, yeah, I would. My top tips would be, I think my top tip would be, when you're choosing a dissertation topic. Actually, I chose something that had was very core to me. The topic had a lot of meaning for my personal journey in my personal life. It spoke to my to my depth in a way. And that, in a way, that made it very challenging at times as well, and that was where I met some edges in myself. But actually it meant the rewards of that study and the research were much richer, and And yeah, so I would suggest my top tip would be choose, if you can, choose a topic for your dissertation that has real meaning for you.
Yeah.
That's what I would really suggest going with that. Yeah, because
So,
that provides a sort of backbone and a core thread that informs the rest of the training as well, and they feed back into each other. I found actually. So yeah.
and one of the things that I'm quite heartened by is I see that many of our graduates continue to develop their thinking into their research topic. And we've been blessed by you doing some CPD with us, which is directly falls out of your research, your dissertation.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that you've just gone, okay, I've had that's done and I'm now moving on? How is that for you?
It's because I chose because my research topic, which was on working with erotic countertransference. So because it sort of spoke to a sort of core area of my experience and one that had a lot of meaning and significance. Um, it's no, it's not something I'm done with, and that's it's something that's just I feel like I've just got going with. It's like the research has opened up this room for me to explore, if you like. And I feel like I'm by no means done with exploring that room. In fact, there's a lot more for me to be exploring. So yes, it's been wonderful then to sort of use the sort of what I've learned and gained from the research to then put on a workshop at the trust, which has further deepened and expanded my interest and engagement. And yeah, it continues. So yeah, very rich theme. Yeah, yeah.
Great. And just to wrap up, is there anything more that you would like to share about what worked well or didn't in your studies?
Uh, what worked well? I think when you because you start the course, start reading straight away. In fact, start before you start the course, I would say. Um, and when you read, take notes, write down references, because you'll want that. It'll all come in useful through with the tasks and with your research and so on. It what really surprised me, and I hadn't expected in many ways, was the centrality of the research to the whole course and the relevance of so much of what I was reading and studying to the research. And so yeah, start reading, keep reading, and make notes on what you're reading.
Jeremy, thank you for joining me today.
That's been a pleasure. Thank you, Kim.
Mhm.